Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be making, from start to finish, a Santa plate and mug set. I'm really excited for today's video because it's something that I've been selling for years in my Etsy shop, and just recently, I think it was last year, stopped selling them. But Santa plates are something that just do well all the time, and they're so cute, and you can keep them in your family for years and years and years, so it's just really fun to make. So I'm going to take you guys on the entire process from start to finish. We are going to go and design it. And I'm going to change some things up. I had been using the same font and the same colors for years, and I'm going to switch it up this year. So I'm going to take you guys along that process, and then we're going to cut it out, and we're going to apply them on our Dollar Tree plates and our Michael's milk jugs. So those are the two that I used for years, and I'll show you guys in just a minute when we go over and look at the materials. But super inexpensive project to make. You can make them for yourself, you can sell them, and once you design the design for your Santa plates, you can use it over and over and over again, just changing up the name so that it's custom if you want to start selling them or if you want to give them to family and friends. So this is a good way to kickstart our Vlogmas and have this tutorial. So if you don't have a Santa plate set yet, you can make one too. So anyways, it's a cold and rainy night here, and I got my coffee, and yeah, it's getting kind of late for coffee, but we're gonna go ahead and drink some so that we can do this project together, and I'm really excited to do it with y'all. So if you guys are interested in watching, then let's get going and jump right into this video. This is the best iced coffee recipe. If you guys have not seen that going around on TikTok yet, I'll have to link her channel down below, but she teaches how to make the iced coffee with the instant coffee and the brown sugar syrup homemade, and then you add milk and ice. So good. It's been like my new favorite. And I'm not usually like an iced coffee person. I usually like to drink warm coffee in the winter, but this is really good. So I'll link her channel or her TikTok if you guys have not seen the video on how to make this, because I've been definitely enjoying this coffee here lately. All right, so here's everything that you will need for today's project. First things first is you will need some kind of white plate or any kind of plate. The ones that I always liked to use are the ones from the Dollar Tree, and this is what they look like. But any plate will do. These are just really durable, and the reason I really like them too is they have this rim, and so the style cookie plates that I make, it has the vinyl around the rim, and a lot of times customers will worry if things are food safe, and since you're putting vinyl on the rim, it's not touching the cookies in the middle, so that's always nice for customers, and they like that, and that way when they're washing it, if residue or whatever gets on it, you're not really scrubbing the vinyl. So they've held up very well for years, and that's the style that I like. So we got that, and these are milk jugs from the Michael's. So if you don't have a Michael's near you, you could just type in milk jug and you'll find some. These usually come in a 6-pack, and they're very affordable as well. You can use coupons, so $1.25 for the plate and very low cost for the milk jug, but that always pairs well together, and people seem to really like those. Next, you'll need some vinyl. I decided to go for like the kind of color scheme that you would imagine your grandma's 80s, 90s Christmas tree to look like, you know, with all the bright, fun Christmas colors, you know, just the classic Christmas colors. So I decided to just have some fun colors with this. It's going to be really pretty. But you'll need vinyl. This vinyl is from my craft source. That's where I love to get my vinyl. And this is the Starcraft brand, Starcraft HD. I really love this vinyl brand, and it's the matte. So next is some transfer tape, and I think this is our tape Clear Choice AT65. So that's some really good transfer tape to use for your vinyl to adhere it onto your plate. Next, you'll need some rubbing alcohol. This is just 70% alcohol, but you can use any kind of rubbing alcohol will work, and a paper towel to be able to clean your surfaces. You definitely always have to use alcohol, rubbing alcohol on your plates or anything that you're going to apply vinyl to, just to make sure it sticks and adheres well. Just a clean surface for your vinyl. Next is something to measure your stuff with, because if you're making this SVG to go ahead and cut out and know your sizing and all that stuff, you'll definitely need to know for your software. So just some way to measure your plates, and then a scraper or vinyl squeegee, whatever you have here to apply your vinyl well to your plate. So that's pretty much it. That's all you'll need for this project. Alright y'all, so here we are in Silhouette Studio, but you can use any software that you want for your vinyl cutter. You'll get kind of the general idea of how to create something like this no matter what software you use. So in this example, I'm going to be using Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to show you what helps me first and foremost is to kind of make like a mock-up of what I'm creating so I can visualize colors and the size I need to cut and do everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and make my plate outline. So over here on the left-hand corner, you're going to go to the drawing tools and the circle tool. And I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to draw out my circle. So we know that from measuring our plate, our exact plate is 10.5. The ones from the Dollar Tree are. So that is the size of the outer rim of our plates. And now ours has kind of a smaller circle on the middle, and that is the area that we'll have for our font, for our text. So we need to definitely put that here so we kind of know how much room we have to work with. So I'm going to duplicate the circle, right hand click, duplicate. And then I'm going to change this sizing to 6.5. All right, now I want to center this in the middle of my other circle. So I'm going to highlight, go over here to the right-hand corner to the transform panel, and I'm going to hit this little center button, and it will center that circle with that circle. So this is the rim of our plate. This is exactly where we want our text to be. So I'm going to go ahead and move this a little bit over and out of the way so we can see and visualize things a little bit better. I'm going to change the color, I think, to black, the line color. If you ever want to do that, it's over here on the line style panel. And I'm going to change it to black because we're going to kind of work with our colors and stuff and kind of get an idea of how we want our plate to look. All right, so now that our plate is finished, we're going to go ahead and start with our text. So I have over here, I picked out the fonts that I want to use for this. All right, so for the Cookies 4, it is going to be in this font called BFC Teacher Treats. I'll link below where I got this font. And then for Santa, we're going to be using DTC Fluffy Socks. I just think that it pairs well together and it'll look really cute here on this plate. And then for the Milk Jug, we're going to do the same font, the DTC Fluffy Socks. So the first thing that you're going to do if you are trying to decide on fonts, you're going to want to do that first. And then the second thing you're going to want to do is just type out what you want it to say here. On the left hand corner, you're going to hit the text tool, type in Cookies 4, and then you're going to change the font to whatever you want here. And you saw our examples already there. So once it's typed out, you're going to double click your font and you're going to see it's going to have this little kind of button here on the left hand corner. You're going to click that button and you're going to drag it down to your circle. And as you see, it kind of snaps in different places. So that'll make it kind of helpful depending on where you want your text to be. Let's say you wanted it to be right there. You can just put it right there. But since I have multiple different text here, I'm going to just kind of put it right here. So same thing with Santa. I'm going to double click it, drag that down. And it's going to go right here. And then at the bottom, I'm going to have it say, Love the Shaw Family. And I'm going to change that as well to, what font was it? BFC Teacher's Treat. So same thing, you're just going to double click it and you're going to take that little button, slide it down to where you want it to go. And it can get a little bit trickier when you're on the bottom part of the circle because it wants to be upside down. But if you zoom in, it's a little bit easier if you zoom in. And then you're able to flip it to the other direction like that. All right, so as you see here, the font is extremely close together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight it. And I'm going to go over to my text style panel, and over here where it says character spacing, you can kind of mess with this a little bit and make your font spread out just a little bit more, and it just looks a little bit better that way. I'm going to put it sort of in the middle of our plate and then adjust that text just a little bit more. So what I'm trying to do here is kind of match it up a little bit with the spacing of the Cookies 4 just so it looks a little bit better. All right, and then you don't really need to worry about centering everything quite yet because that's going to come later. All right, now I'm going to go back to the top part and I'm going to drag this one down as far as I can. And then it's same for the Santa, we're going to drag it down as well. And then adjust the spacing a little bit. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to left click, ungroup, and it kind of removes it from, because kind of when you snap it onto this circle, they all become one piece. So you want to ungroup it so that you can move them around. So I'm just going to highlight my words here. I'm going to highlight my words and shift, or Control G for group. And then the same for cookies. We're going to group that word together as well. Control G. And then now our fonts will look a little bit put together here. Cookies for Santa. Okay, so now right click, ungroup, shift or Control G. So now Santa is its own piece as well. So now I'm kind of just rotating everything and making it look a little bit better. Just making everything look a little bit more centered. Okay. So now as you see, everything is in its own piece. This is grouped as its own piece. These are grouped in their own pieces. And then the plate is just by itself. So I now want to add some cute little polka dots on the sides because I just like to do that. So over here again, go back to your circle drawing tool, shift, drag, and I'm going to make these dots 0.25. So up here in the sizing tool, you're going to go up and type in 0.25. And I'm going to have some little polka dots here. So I'm going to make multiple of these. So what you're going to do is once you put it kind of generally where you want it to be, right click, duplicate, and then just kind of keep duplicating these. And we're going to kind of just figure out our placement right here for just a second. Once you've made a couple dots, I'm going to select all of them. So to select, you just click each one while holding down shift, and I'll show you what we're going to do. And this is a great way to figure out if you're centered, and I'll show you how I do that. So once everything's highlighted, you're going to right click and duplicate. Just kind of drag it over on this side. So over here up at the object, you are going to mirror, flip horizontally. So it kind of does the same thing on that side over on this side. So what this is doing is it's kind of letting us know how close we were to the center. As you see, it's way closer. It's almost touching on the right side. So what we need to do is move our Love Shaw family over just a little bit. All right, so here it is. We have everything designed. This is about how we want it to look. Of course, it's not perfectly centered. Of course, nothing's going to be exact. But once you have your actual physical plate, you'll be able to kind of place things a little bit more. This just kind of helps us with sizing and stuff like that. So once that's done, you can kind of play around with colors a little bit. I know that I want this to be red. So if you ever want to do that, you just go over here to the fill panel and you're just going to play around with colors and kind of get everything the color that you think you want it to be. So it'll kind of help you with your vinyl color choices. So I'm going to go over here and just play with this a little bit and figure out what colors I want to do. All right, so we got our Santa plate done. Definitely going to be festive and colorful and fun, which is the theme that we're going for this. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do our Santa's milk portion. So if you haven't already created that, you'll just go to your text tool, type it in, whatever you want it to say. So we know that it needs to be, let's go ahead and group it together. Highlight, shift, or Control G. And then our width needs to be 2 inches. All right, so same thing. We're going to just pretty much highlight all of these and we're going to duplicate them. And we're going to use these same exact polka dots for our Santa's milk cup. Oops. So duplicate. And we're probably going to just duplicate a bunch of those because we don't know exactly how many we'll need. And that's the kind of fun of it. You get to just kind of do what you want with it. But we'll have a bunch of those dots ready. So the next thing that you're going to do, now that all of that's done, is you're pretty much done. And the cool thing about this is if you're going to sell something like this, you already have it saved. So the only thing that you would have to do, and this is what I would do for other families, is leave this like this and type in the name that you would need for each order. And so then all you have to do is cut it out and everything's kind of ready and saved. And that's how I would do it in previous years. But this is ready to go. So now we're going to go ahead and get everything prepped for our cutting mat. And how you do this is just grouping things together by color and getting them cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of do a time lapse of me getting these prepped for our cutting mat now. Alright, I've pretty much gotten everything where I wanted on my mat. I know I definitely could have probably laid these out a little bit better, more efficiently, but this is the way that I have it right now. So now we're going to go get our mat and we're going to cut everything to size. And if you ever need to figure out what size you need to cut your vinyl for your mat, you can just count by these squares. So for example, this one is 7 by whatever. This one will be 2 by 2. So you'll just go and cut them around the same size. And then we're going to stick them on our mat and then we'll be ready to cut. Okay, so I wanted to mention that I don't put transfer tape on any of the dots. I just kind of put those on myself, and I'll show you here in a minute how I do that. But now you're just going to take your transfer tape and put it on the red letters. So all the parts that are the letters, not the dots, you'll put transfer tape on. So just kind of put that down as smoothly as you can. And then take your squeegee. Just firmly get those letters good and adhered to that transfer tape. Now I'm going to cut out each section, so each word, because it's going to be easier to place that way. Alright, now I have all of my pieces with transfer tape on them, and we're just going to clean our plate off really good. So just take that rubbing alcohol, put a little bit on your paper towel, and just clean that plate. Alright, now that the plate's cleaned off, I like to get my different words and place them where they'll be. So originally, back when I used to do these as like bulk, I would keep the entire sayings in one piece. So I would do cookies for Santa on one transfer tape, and so that way I would get it centered really well. But for this one, since it's different font and all that, I just have it in all separate pieces. So you can do it either way. Sometimes it's easier just to have it in different pieces so you're able to get a clean placement. So I'm just going to kind of generally put them where I want them to be so I don't have it looking all kinds of crazy. Alright, when I'm ready to go, sometimes I've found that it's best to not like overthink it, because if you do, those are the ones that turn out the worst. So I like to start, like the 4 is usually in the center, and there's kind of like a little bit of a dot in the middle of the plate, so I'm going to just kind of eyeball it, and we're just going to take it and live life on the edge a little bit. Alright, and then usually before I get my squeegee, I will take my finger and I will just firmly rub over the letters. And that usually gets kind of like the majority of the bubbles out. And then I'll take my squeegee and just lightly go over it. Alright, first word is on. Okay, so now that that part is done, I'm going to go ahead and take these little dots and I'm just going to place them where I think looks good. And I do have it on my computer. Oops. I have it on my computer still, so I can kind of use that as a guide to remember where the placement I had them with is. So I'm going to go ahead and start that now. Okay, now that I finished the plate, we're just gonna do the milk jug. Just gonna do the same thing, clean it with rubbing alcohol all around. For this one, I just kind of eyeball it and just place it at the flat part of the milk jug, and then just use my thumb. I don't really use the squeegee a lot on this cup because I found that if you have firm pressure, you should be able to get it on there pretty good. Alright, you guys, so here is how our Cookies for Santa plate and Santa's milk mug turned out. I think it is so cute. I love the pops of color. I normally always had in the past done just the red and the green, and I love those, but I thought this year it needed a little bit of color. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like the colorful Christmas style, or do you like more of the just red and green and white lights? I definitely normally do white lights on our tree and stuff like that, but this year for some reason I've been feeling nostalgic and liking the, you know, the classic or the retro colors on the Christmas tree, just the colorful Christmas. So let me know what you guys think and what you prefer. I definitely, this one pops more when you add milk in it. It kind of like, you can see the writing better and all the polka dots on here. And I definitely put too far of a space between Love and then the Shaw family. It's been a couple years since I've made one of these, you guys, but once you make a couple, you get the hang of it. But they're super easy to make, and even something fun that you could do with your kids and let them be a part of it, or even make their own Cookies for Santa plates and just kind of design this how you want it. But definitely was fun making this, you guys. But let me know what y'all think. Alright, you guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's always so much fun to take out the vinyl machine and do a good old-fashioned vinyl project. I swear, I literally tell people all the time, you know, so many people say vinyl is dead. It is not dead. You can do so many projects with vinyl. I take out my vinyl machine all the time and do projects all the time with it. So it's one of those things like the staple craft machines that I say everyone needs a good vinyl machine because you can do everything with it. So anyway, that was so much fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later. Bye.